And welcome, 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 welcome. I am the Savage One, and this is Mrs. Sassy, and we are together Sassy and Savage. How you been?
Sorry, just the opening of that was great.
I know. That's how you been.
I'm good. I'm good.
I mean,
oh, excuse me.
well, she's still sipping, so she's gonna be pulling that mask down half the damn time.
Mm-hmm.
So how the fuck y'all been? Like, we talked about Corona pussy and Corona dick last time, and what the hell were y'all doing? You know, what the hell, who was getting laid and who wasn't? Today, we're gonna do some reactionary, some like, you know, some learning some shit today, maybe a couple of figure some shit out, you know. So, I stumbled across this video the other day that actually gave me some real context, and it actually changed my life, because it taught me something. And I think every person of color or every person that just comes from outside of this country should learn this information. Some information on why our countries are broke. It starts off by talking about Haiti, but it's actually about the entire Caribbean and the entire African continent as a whole. It's called the slave tax. We're going to dive into it about Haiti, but this is a tax that has affected every single black person on the planet for the last 80 years. Tune in, learn more. We're going to kick it.
Population of Haiti was 4 to...
So before we start, he's going to break down why and what's going on and why Haiti is so broke, sorry. And he's going to give you all the information necessary. So just listen and we're going to go through it. And we're going to pause and react to this.
However, you might be very surprised to find out why Haiti is the poorest country in the world. Haiti was one of the richest places on the planet in the 1700s. Population of Haiti was 4 to 1 slave to free Frenchmen. So you basically had about 450,000 slaves there and 120,000, 125.
Pause. I want y'all to pause and listen to the math he just said. He said there's 4 to 1. So he's saying for every Haitian person, so for every 4 Haitian people there's 1 French person that lives in Haiti at this time. And I want you to pay attention to this math because it's very important.
125,000 free Frenchmen and women. Led by a slave named Toussaint, Haiti successfully overthrew one of the most powerful armies on the planet in 1804 and declared their independence. However, France made a deal with them, with warships at the ready, saying that we will invade you, recapture you, and re-enslave you unless you pay for the lost property. Well, that lost...
Pause. I only paused this to also let the rest of you know that this is the same taxation and slave that has been hit in every single country of black people. Jamaica, Grenada, 90% of all populated islands or countries that were under black rule after 1876 and also freed by the Queen were instituted a slave tax. So that taxation, your life, your grandparents' life, and the people who have lived before you have all paid that debt. All of us.
That lost property was the human lives of the Haitians themselves. So France slapped Haiti with a $21 billion bill. That's $21 billion in today's money. It took until 1947 to pay off the initial loan.
Did y'all hear that? In 19. Like, I'm gonna know. Let me just...
It took Haiti almost 150 years to pay off that loan. And obviously you guys know about loans and financing and debt. So how did Haiti pay that money off? Especially because France forced them to give them 50% off of their products. So Haiti was accounting for 3/4 of the world's sugar at the time. And I think a quarter or maybe 1/3 of the entire slave trade at the time. Saint-Domingue was also known as the capital of the slave trade in the West Indies, and also the worst place for a slave to end up because it was so brutal, torturous, and you could be raped and kidnapped at any point in time and sent anywhere in the world. So that debt was financed and collected by French banks, as well as an American bank that was established in 1812, which is called Citibank.
Did y'all just hear what he just said? Y'all catch the revelation of that? There is a city branch and a Citibank branch every single 5 blocks in America. I did the research. I actually checked. Citibank is one of the largest institutional banks in the hood. Do you not catch the irony in that? Do y'all not, as black people, catch the irony in this? A bank that has been stealing money from your ancestors, robbing them blind, is posted in the hood and taking your money to then steal money from your ancestors. Just keep watching.
That's right. Your bank has been collecting money from Haitian people to pay for their own freedom since 1812 and stopped only in 1947. With the natural resources and the people working the land that Haiti had, it should have been one of the richest countries in the world. But the transfer of wealth from Haiti to France and Haiti to French banks and Haiti to American banks to finance what is called the independence debt, which is no more than a debt for the descendants of slavery to continue to pay the countries and the people that enslaved them for their own freedom. It's well documented. It's well documented that the debt was based on slave owners losing their property.
All right. So I'm going to end the video there because he basically goes on to talk about the French culture and asking them and why they haven't paid their money back. But I want to know, you not knowing this information, how do you feel?
I honestly never knew that. That's fucked up. It makes me feel like there's so much hidden shit that we don't know about.
All facts.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I learned about the slave debt in Jamaican school. Because when you come up and you take your general level school, the first thing they teach you is history. One of the first books they hand you in our schools is called Christopher Columbus and the Natives That Found Him. And it actually breaks down all the indentured slaves and servitude from the slave culture. It taught us about Cordon Mas. It taught us about the pirate culture. It actually taught us that Jamaica was, along with Haiti, one of the first free places on the planet because we murdered and butchered off all of our slave descendants and turned our port into Port Arthur, which is actually in the Pirates of the Caribbean, by the way, as the port that they like to call Tortuga. But that's actually a Jamaican port. That's actually a place where pirates and inlets, undividing descendants of people who wanted to fight slavery went and became a pirate. But I digress to say this. Your money that you have in most of your banks today are paid by your great-great-great-great-grandparents. And your great ancestors have been paying for the freedom that this country takes for so granted. So you need to pay attention and do your history. They say history is the way to change the future. But I don't think it's going to change if we don't learn from this. And stuff like this is hidden right in front of our face. Like my partner just said, she had no idea. I got a couple of homies in here. Did y'all know?
Nope. I never heard that.
So imagine how many people are in this world right now are going around. I got another one for you. You guys want to really get fucked up? Right now, there's an actual fight in Supreme Court, in British Supreme Court. You know what it's about? All of the Africans, actually a couple of them from your country too, are asking the Queen where her jewels came from. The crown jewels, where are they from? Britain themselves has no diamond mines. They have no gold producing nations. They have zero ability to produce pink and stones of any gems quality of any kind. Where did they get the gems? The African countries are asking for metallurgical tests because they can quite easily prove where those gems came from. Do you know what the Queen says to this day? Hell the fuck no. She ain't getting those tested. Why? Because she knows where those gems came from. Your history is stolen and handed to other people. And I hope y'all know.
That's facts.
That ends today's cringe.